I'm Dwight Gow and you're watching Newcastle Fan TV.
The player ratings. So, just like Glee, I've got myself a whiteboard. So you can see the player ratings on here, but I'm going to go through each one, including the substitutes, and talk about why I've given them the rating that they have. Feel free to disagree, feel free to agree, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. So first of all, Rob Elliott in goal. I thought had a very solid game. I gave him a 7. A couple of times a couple of good saves, particularly that one I think against Leroy Fair. Didn't really make any mistakes. And I thought he had a really good solid performance. Javier Manquillo, gave him a 5, which you could see is quite harsh. However, I think Matt Ritchie's a better right back than Javier Manquillo is. A load of times he lost his runner. Tammy Abraham immediately springs to mind, the chance where he went past Elliott and Jamal saved it off the line. Jamal took the blame for that, but I also thought Manquillo had a part to play in that. And just defensively, still not looking good and keep giving the ball away. He's still defensively a bit weak, so that's why I gave him a 5. Jamal Lascelles 9. I think that one speaks for itself. The save off the line and the goal, absolute captain's performance, absolutely brilliant. In a game which was always going to be really, really tough. Not only is it against one of our main rivals, not only is there all this hype around Renato Sanchez and Wilfred Bony being back at Swansea, but also Rafa not being there. I think when that happens, you really have to look to your captain to step up, and he really, really did today. Kieran Clark, gave him a 7. I actually ranked him at half-time. I was changing these throughout the game. I actually had Clark higher than Lascelles. It really was those two moments that boosted Lascelles right up to the 9s. Kieran Clark was really, really solid. Was winning the balls, kept a really good tight mark on Abraham and Ayew. And I thought was very, very, very solid. Kieran Clark, again, that partnership seems to work really, really well. Jesus Gamez at left back, deputising, maybe a slightly surprise inclusion, but considering our injury crisis, probably not. I want to see Gamez now playing at left back because he was absolutely fantastic. He was very, very, very good. I mean, didn't do so much to kind of give him an 8, but I think a 7 for a really, really solid performance. Looked defensively assured going forward. It was a Premier League debut as well, which is something I forgot. Looked very, very, very good, and I think he can now be a permanent fixture at left back, considering our current issues there. Due to a pretty average game, Isaac Hayden with a 6. Didn't really do that much wrong, but didn't really offer too much either. It was mainly Marino who was running the midfield, but Hayden had a couple of good moments, but again didn't really shine or stand out. So I think just against the others, he kind of sort of dulls it down a bit, but I can't complain too much about Hayden's performance. Mikel Merino absolutely ran the midfield yet again, like he did against West Ham. Even in tackling, he was fantastic. Taking the ball, spreading it out wide, recycling the ball very well, hardly losing possession, in a big contrast to Renato Sanchez that everyone was talking about before the game. Marino gave a much more assured performance. I was incredibly impressed. But Marino, again, very, very good. And I still believe it will be very difficult for John Shelvey to get back in this team because these two, they work really, really well together. Matt Ritchie, gave him a 7. Got the assist for Lascelles' goal, which is kind of why I gave him a 7. However, I was very tempted to give him a 6. The contact wasn't as bad, but the action is still there. I think there needs to be a definitive line drawn because Ritchie, like Mane, eyes on the ball, no intent to hurt the opposition, but still, it's a dangerous tackle. So I can't. I gave him a 7 because apart from that, he was fantastic. And as I was saying, with in regards to Manquillo, as a right back, well, he wasn't a right back, but when he was coming back defensively, he was very, very good at making the tackles and winning back possession and recycling it well again, just like he does. But again, it was that was a nervy moment for me when I was watching it on the telly. Next one, Iosi Perez, 7. I thought better than I've seen him in the past few games. In the first half, putting pressure as we sat back and let them, as Swansea had possession and we counter-attacked them. Perez, when we did want to chase the ball down, was chasing it down very, very well, just like he did against West Ham. And then in the second half, when we were coming more back into the game and we were starting to take the initiative and starting to take control, he was really good at spraying the balls out wide and being a bit more of a creative link in there, and I was quite impressed by his performance. Jacob Murphy coming in for his first start for Newcastle, gave him a 6. Again, that one I'd probably be tempted to give him a 7, but again, in relation to the other marks we've got, I think 6 is probably fair, taken off of Christian Atsu. But in the first half, he was one of our most creative players. He completely spooned the chance over the bar against Fabianski. But his movement looked very, very good, pacey, skillful, getting past a couple of players. So I think Murphy definitely has a lot to offer. Hosselu, for me, he's really setting himself out as our first choice striker. Again, putting the pressure on, running the channels, looking very, very, very good, very, very assured. Had a great chance, which Fabianski tipped past the post nearly by half time. It was a great chance, and he could have done better with that. Well, no, he couldn't have done better than that. It was a great save. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. But I thought Hosselu was very, very good and offered a lot today. And again, I think going forward, I don't really see any reason to change him for Dwight Gale. I don't see what Gale's offering that Hosselu isn't. Now to the substitutes, Christian Atsu, I could have given this guy a 4 because he was, when he came on, was showing promise, getting forward, being a fast runner, pacey, all that. Delivery, letting him down a little bit. We could have had a couple more chances, but at the end, in stoppage time, oh my god, he gave the ball away twice, and that's why I've knocked him down to a 5. He's still very much, I think, in the fold to start the next game, because he's been pretty impressive the whole season. Next one, Mohamed Diame. Gave him a 6. Came on, didn't really shine out quite similar to Isaac Hayden, but again, much better in a deeper role. Getting the tackles in, driving the ball forward. I think it is his better position rather than as a number 10, which means that we have to address the number 10 position in January by a long stretch. So I really want to stop talking about transfers, but I can't. It still annoys me. And then Dwight Gale, to round it all off, got the yellow card, which was a bit silly. Didn't really need to do that. I was arguing with the referee. Again, didn't really do much, but he didn't really have that much time, so I think 5 is just fairly average. But overall, it was a very, very good performance. I was very impressed. It was always going to be a difficult game. Tell me what you thought of my rating down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Manquillo is the best right back in the world? Do you think Matt Ritchie shouldn't have been sent off? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you later. Goodbye for now. We're raising money for the Bradley Lowry Foundation by walking from the Stadium of Light to St James's Park on October 24th. Please help this great cause by donating. The link is in the description below.